Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the podcast show for the average Joe. This is the Wrestling Diaries. I'm your host, Mitchell Roulane. Check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Pocket Casts on the audio streams. Leave us a review. It helps us show up in more algorithms to get our content out there. We're in your local community in Birmingham. So if you hear this and you're in the city or you're in the surrounding area, you're just in Alabama, help us local boys out. Also, for the video content, go to YouTube, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell right there for more content. We release once a week, probably about to start releasing twice a week because we're doing these street interviews now. Also, another interesting thing, if people are wondering why this look, if people are watching the video right now, if it looks kind of odd, just because we're in a different studio right now. We're trying a couple things. We should probably be back in the regular studio in a couple weeks after a couple episodes, but we're doing this makeshift studio for now. So hope everybody enjoys that. I have a cool guest from the street interviews on today, Mr. Rashad Johnson.
How y'all doing?
What up, dog?
How are you doing?
I'm doing well, man. Thank you for coming on the show today.
I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, I appreciate you reaching out. So for anybody wondering, anybody listening to this or watching it, when we did like the street diaries, the street interviews, and we were in downtown Birmingham, I stopped Rashad and his brother, Cordy Darko, and I got them for a quick interview, man. And I was just asking a couple questions, and I gave him a business card at the end of it, and he emailed me and was interested in actually being on the show. So that's how this came about. So what made you, I guess, take a shining to want to try to come on and talk to a complete stranger, man?
I'm gonna be honest. I like your movement, and it reminds me kind of like what I'm trying to do.
Okay.
I like the consistency. It's like the what's the word? Perseverance.
Yeah.
I like y'all keep going.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love that because a lot of people stop, but y'all keep going, and I respect that.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people stop because they have like some really big goal in mind, right? And then they lack the patience to stick through something. And the way I look at it is like, if you really love something, you're never going to stop doing it, regardless of what happens, right? It's like if you really like drinking Coca-Cola, if the price goes up, you might complain and piss and moan about it, but you're still going to buy it.
Yeah.
Like you still want that Coca-Cola. And so for me, like, unlike a lot of other people, it's like they want that quick self-gratification, right? Like you try something a couple times and it doesn't work. Oh, this doesn't work. Well, maybe you just got to stick with it for a little bit longer.
Sounds like you know something. I don't mean to cut you off.
No.
You know
Please interject.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's so here's the thing. I would do this show regardless of whether I made money off of it or got exposure or not. I just like doing this. Like I don't even know you. You're a complete stranger.
Yeah.
But we're sitting here about to have like a pretty cool conversation. And I mean, it's a learning curve for me. I love education, but in the sense of self-education. So me talking to different people is like me learning. It's like my own personal school. Not to get too deep about that. But.
No, I get it.
Yeah. Rashad, tell us a little bit about yourself, man. You told me earlier that you did music. What's that all about?
Yeah, the bug bit me at 8.
8 years old?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been writing songs, raps, singing songs, pop songs, whatever.
Yeah.
Since I was 8. And then, I make my own beats too, mix it, master it. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Do you have your content out there like on SoundCloud or Spotify or anything like that?
Yeah, like it's on SoundCloud, Instagram, Rashad Reloaded. But
okay.
Yeah. Like y'all, I was putting out a song a week. Because I'm self-sufficient, so I'll just put out a song a week.
Yeah,
but I'm about to start that up again. But yeah,
you totally should. And at the before the show ends, I'm gonna get you to do some plugins for your music or your social media or whatever.
Okay.
Just do that stuff, so you can get your content out there, my man. What do you? So you rap, you do songs, you write lyrics. What else? Anything else? You do any instruments or mixing or anything like that?
Yeah, it's like I'm kind of teaching myself how to play piano.
Oh, for real?
But the only thing is I only know how to play the white keys. I'm not quite sure about the black keys.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mix the songs, master it, engineer it, write it.
Yeah. Who were, I guess, some of your influences that got you into wanting to get into music and stuff like that?
All right, when I was little, it was Lil Bow Wow. I don't know if y'all know Lil Bow Wow.
Oh, yeah. It's Snoop Dogg's nephew, right?
Yeah. It's like Lil Bow Wow when I was little. But I'm gonna be honest, like when I was little, my parents used to play music a lot in the house. And
Nice.
then I remember when I was little, the Temptations movie came out.
Okay.
Yeah. I used to watch that over
That's
and
a good
over and over and over again. Yeah, then as I got older, I always wanted to know how to make beats or what to use.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to use. And then Soulja Boy came out.
Yeah.
And I found out he used FL Studio. It was free. I was like 11.
Yeah.
Then, yeah.
Superman at home. Whoa, watch me.
And then now it's like, I guess the most popular people, not all of them, the most popular people, but like, you know, Drake. I feel like everybody.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Kanye.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of people. Jay-Z. But now I guess I'm more into like independent artists because I feel like I'm an independent artist.
Yeah, sure.
And I feel like that's more, I don't know.
Yeah, because a lot of independent artists, you know, they haven't been, I guess, perverted by like money and status and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So they're kind of still in the art for the purity. Not to say that the big wigs aren't, but I mean, obviously some of them are probably maybe half or more that, you know, you get that lifestyle kind of
for sure
taints you for what you really, the mission that you're doing, which is to create art at the end of the day, you know? So yeah, Temptation. So you like that kind of like old school, like Motown stuff. You like Ray Charles. And
I've seen that movie, but I ain't never really listened to him
Ray.
like that.
Yeah, with Jamie Foxx. Man, he did such a good job.
He looked just like him, too.
He looked just like him. And I would argue, some people might be mad at me for saying this, but I feel like some of the stuff he did was even better than Ray. Like the songs, like some of them.
I wouldn't be able to say. Dang, I'm about to look into that.
Yeah, Jamie Foxx is really good anyway.
He's talented, really talented.
He can do comedy, he can act. Yeah, he's a jack of all trades, that guy.
For real.
So, what do you want to do with your music? Do you have like an end goal? You just creating art to create art? Do you want to make a business out of it? You want to make it a profession? Just something to do on the side?
All of that.
All of it? All of the above?
Definitely not on the side.
Yeah.
Definitely. Like I'm really inspired. I don't know if y'all know Russ. Y'all know Russ?
I don't know.
Well, I'm really inspired by him. Like he's he like got big off of dropping a song a week.
Okay.
But he did it independently too.
Yeah. What did he drop on, like platform wise?
SoundCloud.
Okay.
But that's when SoundCloud was SoundCloud.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like now it's kind of trying to be Spotify.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he did that, and he signed for like 3 years, but he's independent again. And I just like being able to. He's self-sufficient too.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm trying to figure out the words. It's like when I find an artist I like, I check their whole backstory, like everything. And when I found out he did exactly what I did, like I even have a camera, and I all that stuff, edited and color graded, whatever. But yeah, and he does exactly that. I'm like, dang, my fault.
No, you're good. That's a great. Sounds like a great role model to look after somebody like that. Like that's right. What is it? Imitation is it, not that you're imitating that guy, but you're trying to like follow his footsteps. Man, if I was you, I'd try to like reach out to him and do collabs or pick his ear or something. You know,
out there, he's up there, way up there right now.
You never know unless you try, man.
Yeah, for real. I'm not gonna lie. I've sent DMs to a lot of my favorite artists, but just like basically thanking them for the inspiration.
Yeah,
I just feel like eventually I'm gonna cross paths, and they're gonna look at that message and be like, dang, he's since like 3
and then
years
there's
ago,
a story to tell because you're like, now you're dropping some major records, and it's like, this guy once upon a time was just some kid from Alabama, and he was like mixing some beats, and doing stuff, and he sent a message they never replied to, which makes sense. And now he's like having lunch with him or something. That stuff's cool, man. It's very inspiring. I love stuff like that. That's why you gotta keep going, man. Keep doing what you do.
Y'all too. Like this.
So I want to show real quick for people watching the episode and people listening on the audio platform, but I'm going to show like your clip from the interview real quick. So we'll show that right now. Bam. What's your name, sir?
Rashad.
So what's your favorite ingredients on pizza, sir?
I have 2. All right. Pepperoni and pineapple.
There's the pineapple. We need to start doing a tally for pineapple. What is your biggest fear?
I'm going to be honest. My biggest fear is I'm going to end up a billionaire instead of a trillionaire.
How do you feel about your local community, and what does it mean to you specifically?
I'm gonna be honest, I like it. We just moved out here, so I enjoy coming out here.
Where did y'all move from, if I can ask?
Kansas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, last question. What the word unity? Define that word for me in your own words.
Peace.
And we're back. We're back. I'm laughing because we're really there's just 1 second, but you probably watched a 30-second clip or listen to it, but really it was a few seconds. It's audio. It's editing magic, ladies and gents. On your when I asked you the question, what is your greatest fear? This guy goes, well, that I'm gonna end up a billionaire instead of a trillionaire.
I was serious.
I was like, I like this cat. That's awesome. Awesome answer.
I was serious.
That was so awesome. Billionaire instead of a trillionaire. Those are some high ambitions, man. Some super high ambitions.
I think it's all the type of books I read.
What do you read?
Man, it's I discovered these books my freshman year of college.
Mm-hmm.
It's the 7 Spiritual Laws of Success.
Okay, I think I've seen that.
See, I'm gonna say this. I also like the people I look up to because they put me on to different things.
Yeah,
it's
same here.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah. I'm not even finna get into that. But yeah, 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. I feel like everybody knows about Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah, I got it's on the bookshelf over there, Napoleon Hill.
Yeah.
That's a good book, man. That's a piece of art. Art.
The Alchemist.
Yeah, I have that book too at home.
Great book.
Excellent book.
I'm trying to think. The Magic Ladders of Success. It's a lot of books. I just like reading books about success.
Mm-hmm. Self-improvement.
I was just about to say that. Self-help books. Yeah,
self-help books, self-improvement. Because I feel like I always try to preach that to people. You should always be striving to be a better individual, a better human being tomorrow than you are today or yesterday.
Yeah.
You should be smarter, faster, stronger, have more resources. Because if you're not, then what are you doing? I feel like you got to keep creating,
Yeah.
So, but what do I know? I'm just just a regular guy from Birmingham. I don't know. That's cool, man, that you're into that. That's really great. We're very kindred spirits, man. That's probably why we made a connection there.
Yeah.
And then you reached out and stuff like that. Your brother, what's his real name? Can I ask? Or is he going to get mad at you for giving his?
I'm gonna just say,
Cordy Darko.
His nickname growing up was Cord.
Okay.
He probably don't want me to say his whole name.
Oh, that's fine. You don't have to. I don't want to get mad at you.
But it's just Cord. But his music name is Cordy Darko.
Yeah. So he does music too as well. I'm assuming
he does exactly what I do. Yeah, he makes his own beats. Yeah.
Do y'all collaborate, work together?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. That's good, man. Too. That it's also really great to work with a like-minded individual who's also talented and creative to similar goals. So that way, because sometimes you bring somebody in and you have a vision. If they don't have a similar vision, then you're gonna deal with so much blowback.
Yeah,
especially people just what are you trying to do? You can't do this. You can't do that. I've had a small. I've probably had more people. I don't know, praise what I'm doing with the podcasts and stuff like that than not. But even some of the naysayers, you still remember that stuff when people were like, "This is dumb." Somebody actually said to me once, they were like, "This is stupid." Nobody listens to podcasts. I was like, "What?"
I'm shocked.
Nobody listens to
what part of the world are they living in?
Now, granted, this person is not the smartest person. I'm trying not to insult this person, but yeah, they're kind of they're crazy. I'm just being completely honest. This person is absolutely crazy. But I was like, nobody listens to podcasts. This is the news of the 21st century. For real. People go to some person that makes videos and stuff in their basement to get real news. People stopped listening to CNN and started going to a comedian like Joe Rogan to get world facts and news and stuff like that. I mean, I was in a business course based out of London, England, and the head professor type guy was talking to us in one of the classes about that. He was like, he's like, podcasting. He's like, it's the media of the future.
It really is.
He's like, regular news stations and media platforms, they're losing ratings and stuff like that. And everybody's going to audio streams and iTunes and YouTube and you name it, Spotify to get information, to get news, to get entertainment. He's like, and that's where it's going. He's like, in 10 years, He's like, for you people thinking it's silly and it's not something, he's like, you're gonna look back on this. I'm like, oh damn, I should have started a podcast like my boy down the road, who's like a legit like contender right now. Like people are like checking his content out and all these other things. So.
You're talking about yourself, right?
What's that now?
You were talking about yourself, right? A legit contender.
No, I was just speaking in like general terms.
Okay.
From what the guy was talking about, but yeah, man, I'd already wanted to do a podcast regardless of me hearing that stuff, just because I'm a fan of it. Like I listen to multiple podcasts, and I love it because it's very real. You know what I mean? Like there's no script. I'm not sitting here with like a cue card asking like, oh, Rashad, what is
it's raw.
You know, it's real. Like this is real talk. Like it's just two people. In our cases, we're like total strangers, and we're just sitting here, just shooting the breeze, man. And people really respond well to that, I think. But what do you think?
No, I'm a fan of podcasts. I watch a lot of different podcasts with sports, music. Yeah, I watch some of Joe Rogan stuff too. Yeah,
I love it too because the market is so large. I mean, you just said, sports, music. You can find a genre and go to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like. Sometimes if you try to watch the news and stuff, they try to compile all that stuff, which is cool too. But like it's cool to have, like, if you want to just like, oh, I want to listen to something, but I want to listen to something about action movies, just action movies. I don't want to hear anything about what's going on with the weather or any of this other stuff. So then you can listen to a podcast about action movies or about cooking or like drinking or like whatever it is, you know? Cars. And I love that, man. It's like a plethora of entertainment and information and education, all just compiled right at your fingertips.
I agree. I really do. Yeah.
Heck yeah, man. So what do you you said you went to school. What did you go to school for, and where at?
Business management in Jacksonville State University.
Okay.
Yeah, but my first 2 years
Jacksonville in Alabama, not Florida?
Yeah, in Alabama.
Okay. Because I know there's some people get confused.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. And then, but my first 2 years, I went to a JUCO because I played basketball.
Okay.
But I got injured. Yeah.
Oh, dang, man.
Yeah.
What happened? Your injury?
Well, my freshman year, I tried to dunk. I got knocked out the air and fell back like that, and like hurt my wrist really bad.
Do you have to have surgery?
No, I feel like I should have, but it's the thing. I went to one doctor. They said it was just a fracture. Then I went to a second doctor. They were saying it was like sprained and just a fracture. And then, they just told me to rehab. So I'm doing rehab. And then my mom took me to like our doctor we usually go to. They said like it was a torn ligament. And
oh my God.
I'm like, dang, it was worse. Yeah, and ever since.
Yeah, wow. Was that pretty hurtful that I guess it kind of ended your basketball career? Or you just kind of look at it as like, oh, this is something I did. It's not that deep for me.
It's like it did. But I'm gonna be honest. I've always just loved music.
Music's your first love. I got you.
But yeah.
You still play basketball just for fun, like on the court somewhere? Or? Yeah,
it's like out here. I try to find a gym because like you have to have a membership everywhere.
Yeah. You can go to in Pelham. I don't know if you're familiar with the area. In Pelham, they have at the middle school, Pelham Middle School. You go at the end of the road. They have an open basketball court that has like, I don't know if it has like a volleyball court for people to go play volleyball. And then there's like, I don't know if it's 4 or 6 different individual ball courts with all that stuff. And
do people be there?
Yeah, people just go, kids go there, adults go there, people get into games together. So if you ever want to do that, that's a thing. And it's not just for the students, like everybody goes out there because it's open to the public, because then people go out there to play volleyball too.
I'm gonna have to look that up. I'll check that out.
Who's your favorite basketball player? Don't say LeBron.
I have 2.
I'm kidding.
I have 2.
Who is it?
Okay. Rest in peace to Kobe Bryant.
Oh yeah, man, that broke my heart.
Like that's my favorite ever.
He was good. He's one of the best of all time.
Yeah. Better than LeBron.
I agree. High five. People are gonna be pissed.
Yeah, I don't want any problems. And then Kevin Durant.
Yeah,
a lot of people have problems with him, but I don't care.
All right.
Wherever he goes, I go.
Yeah, I've I kind of I was really little, but I grew up like at the tail end of like Michael Jordan's career. So, you know, I feel like everybody liking Michael Jordan is like a cop out. Like it's easy because he's like basically the greatest basketball player of all time, the greatest champion. But yeah, so I think my team is probably Chicago because of that. And then I've always liked Boston. I get a lot of hate for saying that, but the Celtics, man. Yeah.
I'm a Kobe fan.
Yeah, so you got to go with the Lakers, of course.
Oh, but hey, Chicago, they're pretty cool this year.
Are they? I haven't kept up with any NBA this year, so
they're pretty cool.
I kept up with baseball though. I was happy the Braves won the series, but I took a break from basketball this year. I haven't watched a lot of sports this year. I usually keep up with the NFL and the NBA and the MLB, but I only kept up with a little bit with baseball, and really only until like the postseason during the playoffs, because I found out my boys, the Braves, were in. And I was like, ooh, they was in last year, and they lost that semifinal to LA.
Yeah, I don't really know much about baseball. I just know like key players.
Yeah, it's I used to play it when I was in school, so I kind of feel like I have this moral obligation.
What position did you play?
I was third base, and then I played left field. Yeah. Oh, and then I did shortstop. That was actually probably the one I did most, was shortstop. But yeah,
shortstop behind the batter, right?
Yeah. And so yeah, I did that through.
Wait, that's the one doing the whatever y'all be doing.
No, that's the umpire or the catcher.
Wait, what's shortstop then?
Shortstop is like middle of the field. You know, like right in the middle of the diamond. So you have like the pitcher, and then right behind him you have the guy that's like he's like centralized.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
So yeah, I did that in elementary school and then middle school, and then I just I guess kind of faded out from doing that. But yeah, I still like. I'm probably like the only person I know that doesn't think watching baseball is boring. I can understand why people would be like, "Oh, this is boring." I get why they think it's boring, but I guess just because I played it, I'm kind of like, "Oh yeah, I get it." Yeah. Football and basketball is definitely more exciting. I'll definitely say that. But yeah, that's pretty crazy stuff. What about you? Keep up with the NFL at all?
Nah,
not really.
I'm more of a college football watcher.
Okay. What do you? Who's your team?
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Yeah. Me too. I used to be a lot more deeper into it, and then I was like,
yeah, I'm not that.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I want them to win and all that stuff, and all that, but I'm not like super crazy fanatic like I used to be. It's funny because for Halloween, I dressed up like a redneck with like Alabama gear on, and I was waiting for that Alabama fan to be like, "Hey, screw you, man! We're gonna tear you up, Auburn." And I'm like, "What? I'm an Alabama fan, idiot!" Like, it's just funny because there's a bunch of people that look like this that are Alabama fans, so that's how it goes. But yeah, man, they look pretty good this year. I just don't.
I don't think they're gonna win it all.
I was about to say,
I don't think they're gonna get through Georgia.
As being a realist and being unbiased about things, I like my team. I want them to win, but off the eye test and on paper, I just don't see them getting past Georgia for real, man.
Not at all.
Georgia I feel like they're on another level. I feel like they look like Alabama did in the past when like they were unmatched, like last year when they had like the greatest offense of all time. I feel like Georgia probably has one of the best defenses I've ever seen.
And Alabama's defense.
Yeah. And I don't know if their offense is good enough to make up for the lack of their defense not being that great. And I don't know. We'll see.
Shout out Nick Saban, though.
Yeah, Nick, give me a holler. Come on my podcast.
Come on here.
If that ever happened, man, I would have to get like sloppy drunk or something. I don't think I would be able to I would be so intimidated, so nervous that he'd yell at me or something. Oh man, so what else do you do for fun, man, besides making music and stuff like that?
Work out.
Oh yeah?
It's like I don't really do much besides make music. I'm gonna be honest. Of course, hang out with friends. You know?
Yeah. Of course.
I'm really trying to think. Put me on the spot.
Hey, that's what I do, man. That's why they pay me the big bucks.
I don't know. I think what I think is fun, I don't think that many people think is fun.
Really?
Yeah.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah, I don't know. I like to read because I like to learn and be able to implement it on what I'm trying to do.
It's like working out. It's lifting weights for your brain. That's what I tell people. And except it probably works better. Like you probably get more by doing reps and reading than you do doing reps doing a squat or whatever. Yeah, that's what I try to tell people.
I've
People
never
are like,
heard
whatever.
that. I've never heard that before.
He's weird. He reads. That's what I've got before. I'm like, you, whatever.
You missing out.
Yeah. When I feel like when I'm reading constantly too, like my mind's more sharp, especially when I do this. Like I'm talking to you, like I'm more sharp. I'm not like thinking about what to say. I'm like, oh, you know, like doing all that stuff because your mind is worked so much. So like it's easy for you to. I guess it's like when you're at the gym and you're lifting a bunch of weight and then somebody needs you to move a dryer. So it's kind of like, oh, well.
Damn, that's a good analogy.
This isn't that tough. Oh, man, you lifted that dryer real well. Wish I could lift it that way. Well, start doing some squats, son.
Hey, that's kind of like, I feel like that's kind of like, you're good at this. You do this all the time. Mm-hmm. That's kind of like Stephen Curry.
Shooting them threes.
Yeah, it's like
that guy is insane.
Exactly. It's like he drops 50. Is he surprised he dropped 50? He's been practicing.
Yeah. His accuracy. He's like a sniper. He's crazy. A sniper.
It's crazy.
I've never in my history of, and I'm not a super huge NBA fan, but I do keep up with it definitely. And all the years I've watched this from being a little boy to now as a grown man, I've never seen anybody hit the accuracy like he has. It's I don't know if there's a stat sheet on it. I'm sure there is.
I understand it.
It's crazy. I guess it's just what he works at, and he's just good. He's just naturally talented at doing that specific thing, you know. And then he honed that skill, and now he's just unmatched. Yeah,
scary.
Yeah, he's good, man.
You like watching movies?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What's your favorite genre?
So I'm a huge nerd, and I'm gonna go with the comic book movies, man.
So like MCU and
the MCU stuff.
I don't think that's nerdy though. I feel like
yeah, I guess not. I feel like it's also maybe it's like an easy answer. For me, so I grew up reading comic books before they were popular. I mean, they've always been popular, you know, but like mainstream popular.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
You know, and before they were making movies, but not like now they make like, I don't know, 10 movies a year.
Yeah.
And so like back when I was reading them, you know, they would only adapt one here and there. And so, you know, I was reading them because I really liked them, and I kept up with them. And then they started making the movies, so I started fanboying out like crazy. I was like, oh my gosh, Spider-Man, Iron Man, Blade, no way.
They're good.
Yeah, and
have you seen Eternals?
I have not yet. Okay. I haven't had a chance to see. I just watched Shang Chi the other day.
Is that good?
Yeah,
I want to go see that.
Super good.
Dang.
Well, it's already out on. It's on video now, right? No,
it's still in theaters.
Is it still in theater? Oh, okay. I guess maybe you can catch it at like a matinee somewhere, or probably the Dollar Theater might have it. I think I'd go there. Well, so I can't. Yeah, I've already given it away. Yeah, I watched a bootleg of it. I got to sneak preview of it legally somehow. Anyways, it's a great movie, man. It's super good. Yeah. It combines like three of my favorite things, which is superhero movies, martial arts movies, and anime, and it marries them all together in a package.
It's like some cartoon scenes or something?
No, it's just like it has a lot of like fantasy stuff, a lot of CG stuff, computer graphic. Like they go to this other world and there's like creatures. I don't want to give too much away about it, but
dang, that sounds tight.
Like I thought it was going to be good, right? Because I'm very partial to martial arts and to like Asian culture because I'm part Asian. So that's part of the. My mom's from Vietnam, so I'm part Vietnamese.
I lived in Japan.
You lived in Japan?
I know it ain't the same, but yeah.
Oh, heck yeah, dude.
When my dad was in the army, I lived there for 5 years,
Dude, that's so cool. Did you learn how to speak any Japanese or anything like that?
Man, I did, but I was little. We used to have a class, like I guess like Spanish, how we take Spanish here. Yeah. I used to teach the Japanese.
Oh man,
I know a little bit.
That's so cool. What part of Japan did y'all live in?
Sagamihara. But I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to think. Because it was like Camp Zama. But we lived on Sagamihara. I don't know. Yeah.
Are you, how many years did you say you lived there?
5 years. My brother was actually born there. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you could say he's Japanese. That's crazy. So what were the age ranges for you living there? Like from what to what?
4 to 9.
4 to 9?
Yeah.
Were you sad when you left there?
I wanted to stay there. Because we were supposed to move like twice. But my dad kept I guess extending the time. I'm not really quite sure with the Army stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just remember the last time he couldn't extend it. We had to move.
Wow, that's fascinating, man. That's absolutely fascinating. See, this is like what's great about talking to people. I never would have this guy lived in Japan. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm part Asian. My mom was is Vietnamese, and she was in the Vietnamese military.
Dang.
And so during Vietnam, the war, she was fighting with the Americans against the Viet Cong, the communist North. And then she met her Green Beret husband and then came to the United States and set up shop. And she's been here ever since.
That's cool.
Yeah, she's an interesting person. She's very interesting. She still speaks terrible, broken English and all that stuff. But anyways, yeah, she... I guess because of that, like I've always had an affinity for Asian things.
Yeah.
Sometimes stereotypes exist for a reason. And that is exactly one of the reasons why I grew up liking martial arts films, because I used to watch my mom do Tai Chi sometimes in the morning. She'd be up there at
What's
sunset.
that?
Tai Chi, it's kind of like, there can be combative, but it's mostly non-combative martial arts. It's just like flows and movements. It's like, I like to compare it to yoga.
I was sitting here thinking yoga maybe, but dang, that's cool.
It's just movements. It's like if you've ever seen like a martial arts film and you see somebody just going through the motions of things, like it essentially could be Tai Chi. It would depend.
Cool.
But yeah, it's generally non-combative. It's just for health, vitality, exercise, stuff like that. Discipline.
I'm about to learn some of that.
Yeah, it's really good. They do a lot of breathing techniques, and they just use force and gravity to move your body in ways that it doesn't normally move. So yeah, it's pretty coul. There is a form of it, though, I said that people do use combatively. I don't know much about that. I just know the traditional Tai Chi that most people know about. It's just movement based. But yeah, she would do some of that sometimes, and that was really cool. So I grew up on all the cool kung fu movies, Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee and all that stuff.
Of course.
So, but anyways, back to Shang Chi. So Shang Chi has a bunch of martial arts fighting in it, and obviously it's also connected to the MCU. What I like about it, though, is like, you see the little Easter eggs and how it's connected to all the Marvel movies, but it also just standalone could be just this cool fantasy fiction action film by itself, just standalone. It's got a great story too.
I'm about to check that out.
It's about a guy who's at a place in the world, and then he's trying to find himself. So there's a really cool like underlying message to the movie, about like trying to be your true self and all this stuff. It's a good flick, man.
Okay, so this is my question. MCU or DC, not movie wise.
Literature wise.
Yeah.
I'm still probably gonna have to go with Marvel, man. Just I love DC for what it's worth. I mean, you got Batman, you got Superman, you got the Justice League. I like Wonder Woman too, Green Lantern. But MCU they humanized those characters more. Especially Stan Lee in the '60s. He made the characters relatable to real people in real life. A lot of people couldn't relate to Batman, even though he was a regular guy with no superpowers, because he's a billionaire and his parents were brutally murdered, and he traveled the world and learned martial arts and had to be like a master of disguise and all these other things. And then Superman's, an alien from another planet and stuff. But like I feel like it's not the golden age, but I feel like the golden age, the greatest age of the comics was in the 60s when X-Men, Spider-Man, the Incredible Hulk, Iron Man, all of them were created because they humanized those characters. Like Spider-Man was the everyman or woman. Like he wore a complete outfit. You couldn't see any skin. So he could have been a man, a woman, black, white. You don't know. Anybody could imagine themselves being Spider-Man. Dang. And he just looked cool, And then X-Men, like Stan Lee wrote that off of the time, because it was in the 60s. So it was during segregation. A lot of people don't know this little piece of information, but he wrote so the mutants were supposed to represent the black Americans in the 60s, right? And they were discriminated against because they were different. And so like in that world, like regular humans didn't like the mutants because they were different and they were afraid of them and stuff like that. And then you have Charles Xavier, who was mimicking Martin Luther King Jr., who believed that mutants and humans could live together and in brotherhood. And just like Martin Luther King believed that we're all brothers and sisters, we all live together in harmony. And then Eric Lyncher, Magneto, believed that the mutants were superior and that they were better than the humans, and that they should they should push the humans out, like Malcolm X. And they both like, there were like characters that were connected but also conflicting, and so a lot of people don't know that. But yeah, so like Professor Xavier is Martin Luther King Jr., Magneto is Malcolm X, and then the X-Men are like the Black Americans at that time. So yeah.
So who's your favorite superhero, like character?
Ooh, I don't know, man. It's a coin flip between.
That's mine. Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Yeah, I don't. It's a coin flip between Spider-Man and Batman. And I know that's like, everybody's gonna be like, oh man, those are the two. I mean, they're two of the biggest, most popular characters in the world. So
those are my two favorite too.
Yeah, it's just Spider-Man's just the most relatable. He's like every guy. He's not a millionaire, and he's also not the most powerful hero, and he also has a lot of problems with like relationships and work, and he's getting in and like he's trying to do this dual life, and it doesn't really serve him that well. Like he saved somebody at Spider-Man, but then he's late for work and gets fired, or or vice versa. Like he's doing good with his relationship with his girl, but then he lets somebody get killed because he couldn't save him in time. And it's just a really interesting dynamic, man. It's hard not to like Spidey.
Since you like Spider-Man, which Spider-Man did you like the most? Toby, Andrew, or I forgot the new guy name.
Tom Holland.
Yeah, Tom Holland. Yeah.
Jeez, dude, I don't know. If I'm being honest, I like them all differently and individually, but in my opinion, I still don't think there's been that like just alpha standard perfect like Peter Parker / Spider-Man yet. Like, I don't know. You could argue that like Andrew Garfield was a better Spider-Man and Tom Holland's a better Peter Parker or something like that. But I don't know. I don't know if I could. I like them all though, just so we're clear. I just don't know if I really have a clear favorite, because I personally haven't seen an iteration yet that I feel like, oh, that's the GOAT. That's the Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man or the Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. I don't know if in my opinion, there's been someone to play Peter that is the top dog, but they're all good in their own way.
Of course, yeah.
What about you? What would yours be?
I'm gonna be honest. I never really seen the Andrew Garfield,
The Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, I never really seen those. I've seen like
if you're gonna watch the new Spider-Man in December, you gotta watch those because all the crossovers.
That's what I heard. I don't know if this is true, but I heard they're supposed to be in there or something.
Yeah, well, it's speculation. They've denied the rumors that they're in there, but one thing that is true is the villains from all those other movies are there. Yeah. So like Jamie Foxx's Electro from the Amazing Spider-Man movies is in there. Green Goblin and Doc Ock from the Tobey Maguire movies is in there, and they're fighting with this Peter. So, I mean, come on, like for them to have the villains and not the Spider-Men from those franchises and those universes or whatever, I think they're just trying to hide it because they want to surprise people.
Man, they do that, they're gonna break some box office records.
Oh yeah, man. I was reading an article about it today. They said they're already seeing that like this third Spider-Man movie is gonna break a bunch of records because there's so much hype being built up. And then even if Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Men are in the movie, like them not showing it in any of the trailers is genius marketing, because now it's just making people talk. We're talking about it. So now more people are going to want to go see the movie to see if they're in it just for that reason alone. Like regardless of the fact that this is Tom Holland's last Spider-Man film, and it is. Well, that's what I'm hearing.
Dang, okay.
Yeah, like his contract is up, and I don't think he's renewing it. So.
Dang.
Yeah, they might go forward with like a Miles Morales Spider-Man. Okay. Have you heard about that one? He's like
the Black Spider-Man.
Yeah, he's like half black, half Mexican, I think, or Hispanic of some sort.
On the first Spider-Man with Tom Holland, I don't know if you know Childish Gambino.
Yes.
Yeah, that was
Daniel Glover.
Yeah,
Danny Glover. Yeah.
Yeah, he played his uncle.
Donald Glover, not Danny Glover. My bad. That's Danny Glover's a different person.
He's off of Lethal Weapon. But yeah, he played his uncle on there when he, like the scene was like he met him in a car garage or something. His name was the same as Tom.
Morales' uncle.
Yeah.
And then in Into the Spider-Verse, he ends up being the villain, the Prowler. So they were saying,
his uncle.
Yeah, have you ever seen Into the Spider-Verse?
You talking about the cartoon?
Yeah, the animated movie. They
Yeah,
did.
I seen it, but I don't remember that.
Yeah, so Miles Morales' uncle was like showing him the cool graffiti art, and then it turns out he was like the Prowler, this villain, and all this stuff.
Dang, I
and
did
so
not
if,
remember that.
Donald Glover's character is the same character, which he is, then he's the Prowler. He's the Prowler villain guy.
And then isn't Tom Holland's best friend supposed to be a villain too in the comics or something?
Yeah, I think I was hearing Hobgoblin, like he was, or something, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I should know this being a fan, but I'm not 100% sure on that one. It's pretty crazy though.
That's gonna be tight when they. Well, dang, you said that's the last movie.
Yeah, I mean, well, they might renew. I don't know.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I love it.
I want to see all that play out.
I love how we went on for like 20 minutes now talking about superhero stuff. Love that. I love it. I told somebody once that like they were critiquing me for liking comic books. So I read a lot of other stuff, just like you. I read a lot of self-improvement. I like stuff on science. I like poetry. I like biography on people that I like.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But comic books is kind of like my junk food. But even then, I don't even know if saying it's junk food is fair to its literature, because some of the stories in there are really, really good. Like they're real good. They're real good stories, and they're written very well. And somebody was critiquing me once, said, "Man, you're a big reader and you're really into like, educating yourself, but like I'm confused that you like comic books, because isn't that for kids?" And I was like, whoa, bro, chill. I was like, it's not just for kids. Yeah, they're colorful panels. It's an expression of two forms of art here, man. You have literature, and then you have like drawings and color. Like you're submersing yourself in a bunch of art. And I was like, also, I feel like it's this generation's version of Greek mythology, right? You have these gods and these beings of special powers, and some of them are evil and some of them are good, and some of them have like these morals and lessons and stories to learn. And like, I was like, that's how I look at it. And this guy was like, whoa. He was like, I never expected someone to defend comic books in such a deep kind of way like that. I was like, dude,
I feel like I get it, man.
Yeah.
Dang.
It's our Greek mythology, man, for real. Speaking of that, there's a book called Hulk: The End, and it's like an offshoot. It's not part of regular continuity, but it's like it's like in the future after like World War III has happened or something, and there's nuclear fallout. Everyone's dead, and the only living human on the planet is Bruce Banner / the Hulk.
Yeah.
And he just roams the earth by himself, and the only thing that's alive is him, some plants, and then these giant man-eating cockroaches that like fly and stuff. And he's, most of the book is just him in his head, and he's still that fight. He's like hundreds of years old too, and he's like an old man as both the Hulk and Bruce Banner, and they're still like fighting with each other for dominance.
Dang.
And the story, actually, the writer used a lot of inspiration from the story of Prometheus, which was one of the titans, I think, that Zeus punished, and he had him chained to some mountain where like these vultures would eat his intestines out, and then he would heal back up, and they would just keep doing it over and over again because he gave fire to the humans. He gave the humans fire, and then from there they start creating things and becoming more powerful, and that pissed Zeus off. So he punished Prometheus, and he references it in the book. I don't want to give too much away because people should really read this. It's a really good read called Hulk: The End. Really
I wouldn't mind them making that into a movie too.
That would be a super awesome movie. Even if it's just like an animated movie or something like they've done. I would totally check that out.
Dang,
yeah. Heck yeah, dude.
Man, you put me on to some comic book stuff. I usually just watch movies. Like, I'm actually intrigued right now.
I mean, I'll give you a couple recommendations before you leave today of some pieces to check out that I think you probably like. But Rashad, man, we've been talking about a lot of cool stuff, man. We got into comic books. We talked about sports. We talked about your music and stuff. Now I get to the part of the show where I try to take people a little bit deeper.
Okay.
As deep as they're willing to go with me. Usually I like to tell people, though, like, if they don't like to go deep, then why would you want to be on my show? It's about the human experience and what we wrestle with. But what do you, sir, as a young man living in this world, what are you personally struggling with, man? What are the demons under your bed and monsters in your closet that you fight with? What do you wrestle with?
Maybe distractions and temptation.
Distractions and temptations. What do you mean? Elaborate.
Okay. When I say distractions, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know if you know what manifestation is.
Yes, absolutely.
I believe in manifestation.
Mm-hmm.
And I just believe, I'm trying to use my positive energy to manifest something that I want to do in life.
Yeah.
And I feel like, there's nothing wrong with, social media, TV, Netflix. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I use it. But sometimes, I'm not going to lie, sometimes I get zoned out in it when I could have, I could have sent the email off or made a song or, just get some work done. I feel like I need to figure out a balance. Because then sometimes I get too deep into the music and in my personal life, I don't do anything with that. So I really need to find a balance.
Yeah.
Big
it's like
time.
a juggling act.
Yes.
Kinda.
Yes.
So you struggle with that a lot. Yeah, it's I mean, I guess it's all on. The best way that I guess you can try to handle it is just to keep doing it and find like a sweet spot. And then sometimes you might not, and it might just be something you have to constantly like battle with, right?
That's what it feels like.
And what do you mean by like temptations for stuff? Temptations to keep you off the path that you're on?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't have to elaborate. I know there's obviously sometimes some people. I've had people go as personal to tell me like legitimate things that have happened to them in their lives, addictions they've had, things they've done, and then I've also had people just say it vaguely. Because obviously, I mean, it's your personal business. I don't know you, and then there's no telling how many people will listen to this or watch this. So,
but yeah,
temptation is a big thing for me too. Like just being tempted to do things I shouldn't be doing, or things that don't serve me is really the best thing. Is like you're just wasting time. Even if like I look at things very analytically. So like even if it's not just from a moral standpoint, if I'm doing something that's I feel wrong or not good, but it's also if it doesn't serve me, then it's also wasting my time about doing something I could do that could serve me.
That's
you know what I mean?
It's
It's like if you were eating something that doesn't fill you up, there's no calories in it, right? It's useless. It's air. It doesn't. It's like, what are you doing? Get some real food or something,
That's how I feel about salad, but
salad.
Yeah, but
Well, salad's good for you, man.
yeah, that's why I
get
eat
some
it.
greens.
That's why I eat it, but man, it just feel like air in my stomach.
Yeah, you got to get something more. Well, that's why you have a salad, and then you have your regular course with meat and solid vegetables or some bread or some potatoes or something.
Something, yeah.
Rashad, how do you? I have this question I ask people. It's about like if you. We always have those times, that we look back on our lives, the things we did or did not do.
Yeah.
And we're like, man, if only I would have been there 5 minutes earlier, if only I would have said that, or if only I would have did this or not did this, or went there or not went there. And so I asked this question about like if we had a telephone time machine, right? You could pick it up. And the only purpose of this is you can call yourself in the past or the future. But for this question, you'd be calling yourself in the past, and we let you borrow this machine. What Rashad would you call? And what would you tell him? Let's say it's a Rashad that you feel like is the one that needs advice from you in the future about their lives and what they're doing. Which Rashad do you call and what do you say to the guy? It's a complex question, right?
This is funny. This is funny because I know exactly which one I would call.
Okay.
Dang, it's about 2 of them. But it's like, I don't know how early I should do it. It's either middle school or high school.
Okay. Middle school or high school.
High school.
Okay.
And it could be middle school though. Dang. I'm gonna say high school. Freshman year.
Okay. Freshman year, high school.
Early. Get it early. Man, I would say focus on yourself. Focus on yourself, man.
That's what you tell him? Why do you tell him to focus on himself? What was he doing?
I just feel like myself back then, I was too let me think. Because how the books I read, they put it, I feel like I was too external instead of internal.
Right.
I feel like I know myself way more now. Back then, I was trying to, I guess I was a people pleaser. Not saying there's nothing wrong. I love to make people happy and smile.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, but I just feel like I was a people pleaser.
Yeah, and sometimes people have the problem of like they spend so much time trying to please people
Yeah.
and give an image that they're not working on, like loving on themselves or bettering themselves,
and that was
right?
the problem.
Because I only know this because I've done it. Like most of the things that I say on the show, I don't know what I'm talking about half the time. So if anybody listens to this, if I said anything on this episode or any episode before, you're like, man, that's not right. I'm just a regular guy. I make mistakes. But my point is like when I have a strong opinion on it about something, it's only because I've done it too. But I've been there, like to where like I'm worried, like, oh, what do they think? How do I look? How do I sound?
Man.
What am I doing? And I'm like another part of my brain is like, dude, shut up, man.
Yeah.
Just like do you. Like these people probably, like somebody told me once, they said when you're in your 20s or something, you worry about everybody and what they're thinking and what they're perceiving of you. And then when you get like in your 40s or 50s, you start feeling like you don't care what people think or, and like how they perceive you. And then when you get into like your 60s or 70s, you realize they was never thinking about you at all.
Yeah.
And so that's
I realized that in the gym. I'm not gonna lie, when
were you working out?
When I was younger, I used to think people was looking at me. I'm like, dang, why? Like, but now I kind of figure everybody's just really looking at themselves.
Yeah. And some people might be looking at you, but it's definitely not what we usually think it is. We always, if it's like a 2, we build it up to like an 8, you know?
Yeah.
I still do that now in the gym. Like I'm in there and I see some guy that's way bigger than me. I'm like, man, if he's looking at me and he's like, look at this little or something, like, look at this little guy, he ain't doing nothing. Even some of the girls, there's like girls that are like super jacked, and I'm just like, oh, I bet she's like, oh, look at this little pea body.
Everybody starts somewhere though.
Yeah, you got to start somewhere, and then you just got to just keep doing your thing. Like it doesn't matter. Like stay in your own like world and improve and let the chips fall where they may.
Exactly.
That's cool, man. That's a good answer, man. In finality, in closing, I'll ask you this. I always ask people this too. As a person living on this earth and what you've contributed to in life or you feel, one day when you're gone and people are looking back on you, what kind of legacy do you want to leave behind? You know what I mean? Like what is etched into your stone? What poems do people write? What songs do they sing about you? What do people say? What's your legacy look like, Rashad? Or what would you like it to look like?
I want to be an inspiration in a positive way. I feel like I'm just trying to think of the right words to say. It's like I feel like inspiration is one of the best gifts you can give to people. And I'm gonna be honest,
Amen.
I want to be inspiring to like a lot of people. Like a lot of people. Like my motto is like believe in yourself. So I just want people to believe in themselves in whatever you want to do. I want when people look at me, they can be like, "Dang, he believed in him so much. He believed in himself so much that I should believe in myself." That's just how I feel. I really believe in myself, like I really do, and I just feel like, you know, I understand people go through things. You know, I go through things too, but man, this is the only body you're gonna get. This is the man. It's like, man, why not? Like, just believe in yourself. Because I'm gonna be honest, I feel like you gotta believe in yourself. I know it's people that believe in, you know, like I know it's people that believe in me.
Yeah,
but I feel like you gotta believe in yourself. Either before they start believing in you, or you know, you just gotta believe in yourself. I don't know.
No, that's good, man.
Yeah.
That's a wrap. I don't think anything else should be said. Appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for being on the show today, dude. Did you have fun doing this?
Oh yeah, I like this.
I love it. I feel like I just love talking to people, man. You're an interesting guy. You're doing this music. You lived in Japan, and you're a comic book fan like me. And I feel like we're kindred spirits, man. We're like,
for sure, yeah.
You just got to keep going on your path, man. You know, just stay on that path. You know, keep on keeping on, and then one day you'll be able to bend the wind like the alchemist. You know,
dang,
yeah.
Universe conspired to help you and everything. For
Boom.
Sure.
You believe it, you can achieve it.
Nah, for real though.
For real, yeah.
It sounds funny, cliche, but it's true.
Yeah, but I really appreciate you being on the show, man. Before we go, let me get you to plug in your music or social media, anything that you'd like for people to see your stuff, your content, or if they want to reach out. You can go ahead and plug in.
No, I appreciate you letting me do this.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Rashad Reloaded, RASHAD Reloaded. That's on Spotify, all streaming platforms. Yeah, and Instagram too. The same name. Yeah.
Excellent. Thanks, dude.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, man. Thank you. So, I'm getting fussed at by my production manager. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you all enjoyed this episode today with my new friend Rashad. That I just met this cat at Railroad Park. We were doing street interviews. He reached out. He emailed. He came on the show. I love meeting strangers, especially people that are inspiring. They got cool stories and they're interesting. And he's got a lot of ambitions, and I love it. I love the energy and I love the direction. So I really appreciate him coming on the show. We talked about a lot of things today, but like, for anybody listening, I always give these final thoughts, right? Just give somebody something to sleep on. But like, what is it? What direction do you have? And do you feel like being an inspiration would be a good thing for what you do and the people around you? And if you don't, then what do you get inspiration from? And what is that? And I feel like we all have a mission to do the things that make us happy, if they be good and sound and just, meaning they don't hurt other people or impede on someone else's freedom of life, love, and expression. And I feel like you have a duty to do that, because if you're happy and doing the things that make you happy, then you make the world around you a better place. And I'm not trying to give some cheesy self-help like poetry, but this is just real talk, really. This is how it works. If you're happy, then you create this energy bubble around you that's happening. Everything it touches, it's like laughter being contagious. You could laugh, somebody else is laughing. You might not think whatever's funny, but you're just going to laugh because somebody else is laughing, or smile. And that's how it works. And so, I challenge people that listen to this podcast. I mean, where do you find inspiration, and how can you live happier and live the life of fulfillment and be a better you? But what do I know? I'm just a regular person. Check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Leave us a review so we can show up in more algorithms. Go to YouTube, like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell for more content. We release a couple times a week. Tell me, what do you wrestle with, and how can you beat it? One love.